Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Hope you're having a good one. Was good. Did you have a good day? I mean, seriously, did you wake up? Did you wake up and just say, you know what, I woke up, today's a good day? See, I try to do that every day. If I wake up, I'm pretty much in a good mood. The people around me aren't in a good mood because I wake up like ready to go. And people don't like that. People have issues with that because I'm ready to go. You know what I mean? I woke up. It's another day to get it right. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Tonight's question, because I know all of you want to know. Tonight's question, who is suing the SEC? Ripple, Gemini, Kraken, other. Who is suing the SEC? Ripple, Gemini, Kraken, other. And I mean recently filed. I don't mean like last year, ongoing case, just to clarify. Because I know some of you jokers like to be funny. Just saying. I know you. You are vested. That means you're ready to sell. You are vested. That means you're done growing. So you want to say that you have invested in yourself. Just thought I'd put that out there for you, Hutanic. You know, your daddy teaching you a little something. Where's patient one? Because she'd probably laugh about that. Oh, my gosh. So I've been looking at the news and just looking at stuff. Thank you for that laugh. I needed that. That was worth it. Seriously, where's patient one? Because I think she'd get a kick out of that one. It's just been a really good day. And for me, I think it's been a really interesting couple of days, right? You had Oracle come out, blow up. Figure came out, blew up. I think when they first came out, they went up like 24%. Probably a little bit of pullback, right? Because, you know, you got to make your money. Those are, to me, those are in the range of okay, right? When you hit your IPO, because we had Klarna yesterday, we had Figure today. Klarna was up 15% and it pulled back a little bit, 24% for Figure, pulling back a little bit. I actually like that. And the reason why is because when you go IPO, you're going for the money and you want to make sure that you price everything properly. You don't want to price it so perfectly that the people that are bringing you to the street don't make their money, right? Because of how it works. The way it works is you go to the street, you say, hey, Goldman Sachs, we want to go IPO. And you start your negotiations. How much do you think it should be? And they have a number in their head as to what they think it's going to be. And they negotiate, and the delta between what you finally settle on and what they think it's going to be is their profit. Because what they're doing is they're giving you the money, buying all those shares, and then they're putting it on the market. Okay, that's basically how it works. I mean, there's a lot more to it, but that's basically how it works. So you kind of want to be within a tight range because you don't, as the CEO, you don't really want to walk away feeling like you left money on the table. So when you see these stocks come out and they absolutely like ridiculously explode, like up 50%. Oh my God. Yeah, you don't want that. Because that means you didn't price well. That means they screwed you. You don't want that. Captain Banana in his house. Investment done. Thanks for not holding our morning your morning grumpies against you. It's what makes the world go round. It's what makes the world go round. So to see Klarna do well, but not do overly well, to see Figure do well, but not overly well, was actually really good. Reason why I say this is because it sends a message to the rest of the companies that want to go IPO. And you kind of sit there and you kind of go, they're probably going to lean toward doing it now. Klarna waited years. I think they originally wanted to go IPO in 2021. So they waited years to go IPO. They were like, yeah, the market's just not, it's just not there yet. So they kept doing what they were doing. They just kept making money, making moves. Hat tip to them. So I'm kind of like, yeah, I get it. I absolutely get it. Right. So I'm paying attention to those kinds of things, and I'm paying attention to what other companies might want to go IPO. Yeah. And then we have Gemini. I know I've harped on this before, not too much, but I know I've spoken about it before. But I just want to review just how dumb Gemini is, right? Gemini wants to go IPO. They've probably wanted to go IPO for a long time. They just played it close to the vest, but they probably wanted to go IPO for a long time. So they get in bed with Digital Currency Group, DCG. I think it's Digital Currency Group. Haven't heard about them in a long time, but still, they get into bed with them. Things go awry. Now they're having court wars and all that stuff, and it gets ugly. It gets messy. So yeah, you're not going IPO until you clean that crap up, right? They finally decide to go IPO, and the Winklevoss brothers have pissed off a lot of people. They've pissed off a lot of people. You want to know who they pissed off? The incoming head of the CFTC, Mr. Contents, and he's got the receipts. And I know I spoke about it a little bit yesterday, but I was seeing a little bit more news about it today, and I'm just like, man, Tyler Winklevoss is an idiot. You're about to go IPO. This guy has text messages, and he releases them shortly before you go IPO. As if to say to the market, do you really want to get in bed with this guy? You really want to do business with this Nimrod? Wow. Just the level of, I don't want to say dumb, but I kind of want to say dumb. Because how bad of a mistake is that? That you pissed off the guy who's going to be the head of the government agency that's going to oversee your space, for the most part. Did you know? Did you not know? Did you think it all? Did you take the time to kind of contemplate, hey, that might not be such a good idea? No, not you. Not you, Nimrod. Nope. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. And then you're so good at running a company. I mean, I'm going to be frank here. I know it takes a lot to run a company. I know firsthand that it takes a lot to run a company. I consult people that run companies. I know it is hard. But you own an exchange. Exchanges, all they do is make money. How'd you F that up, bruh? How did you F that up? How did you have a losing season in the first half of 2025? I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying. I mean, I know. I'm being evil. I know. But the level of dumb is... It amazes. And so I just think about that. Yo, D. Bluey. In yourself, a lot of investment today in yourself. You invested in yourself today. Is that what you're trying to say? Because you know that's the rule. That's the rule. Captain Banana, thank you for letting me know you invested in yourself. I forgot to say that. Thank you, D. Bluey. And Hutanic, thoughts on Bitcoin knots. I have zero thoughts on that. They're going to do a soft fork on Bitcoin to store 1,000x more data per block on October 30th. Two problems. They can publish illegal pictures and video on the blocks. That's not the problem. That's not the problem. That is not the problem. I told you, when I look at projects that are trying to make Bitcoin into what it's not, I'm not going to say they're stupid, but I question the feasibility of their actions, let's say. Excuse me. So I keep saying that Bitcoin is a completely different animal than all other coins that are out there. To move data on Bitcoin is expensive. It's slow. So you want to do something like this and you choose Bitcoin. Very interesting. Very interesting in a time where people are saying, I'm buying Bitcoin and I'm holding on to my Bitcoin. How does that happen for you? Because that would mean that Bitcoin needs to change hands, and people are not, I mean, unless it's a really big deal and they're really doing something, they're kind of like, yeah, I don't know about that. So if I want to maneuver things, if I want to move things, I'm going to choose a different network. I mean, even Solana would be a better choice depending on what you're trying to do. As long as it's not mission critical, real time necessary. You know what I mean? Nothing mission critical on Solana for me. Can I see it doing other things? Sure, as long as it's not mission critical. Because bad things don't happen at the best time. They happen at the worst time. And, you know, they're always touting that throughput per second. I heard Mike Novogratz from Galaxy talking about, oh, their throughput per second is like they can handle billions of transactions a day. And I'm like, Mike, have you looked at how many packets they drop? Technically, I guess that's handling. And believe me, I've got nothing but respect for Mike Novogratz. God knows what he's doing. He's been around for a while. He's been around the block more than a couple of times. Got nothing but respect for him. But in that choice, he and I differ. He and I differ. I'm not trying to, I would not be trying to put my stocks or tokenize my stocks on Solana. No, sir. No, sir. So when I look at people goofing around on Bitcoin, I'm kind of like, what are you doing? Those transactions are going to be expensive as all get out. Are you serious? This is what you're doing. This is how you're doing. Okay. No. You do you. You do you. Me, on the other hand, no, I'm not putting my money in that. I'm not investing in that. Nope. So Bitcoin knots. You have to call yourself Bitcoin knots. You can't just call yourself knots running on Bitcoin. That's a bold move, Cardano. That's a bold move. That's not. If I was going to sell all of my crypto assets and consolidate into one space, would it be Cardano? No. I would take Chainlink over Cardano in that case. Captain Banana, you know what you have to do now. Oh, that was funny. But even made me tear a little bit. That's just hilarious. Oh man. But I'm not trying to move to Cardano. I love Cardano. I'm not trying to move to Cardano. Cardano has not provided me enough growth right now to say that I would do that. Chainlink has. Would Chainlink lose some value? Sure. It's highly possible, sure. But what does Chainlink have that Cardano doesn't have? People that require it. Not need it, require it. Other projects require Chainlink. So I could put my money in Chainlink and be, if I had to, I could put my money in Chainlink and be like, okay. If it goes down, I'd be like, okay. But would I be doing some Illmatic-ish like that? No. Nah, I'm good off that. I'm good off that. Can gold go down? Sure. But there are other things that I would do. I could care less about their governance. I could care less about their decentralization. Could care less. But that's a given. You're piping on old news. I need new news. I need to see projects going to Cardano and making it into what I think it has the potential to be, which is a part of the connective tissue in Web3. That hasn't happened yet. It's not to say that people aren't building on Cardano, but they haven't flocked to it the way they have other blockchains. Right? Potential is absolutely there. Absolutely there. But they need to do more reaching out. They absolutely have to do more reaching out. Who are they partnering with? Interoperability is nice, but that doesn't make you required. It doesn't make you a requirement. It just means like these people are playing in the sandbox with you. I need something that's going to be a requirement. Ethereum is a requirement. GMB is a requirement. Chainlink is a requirement. You can go down the list and say, these are requirements. That list is way smaller than what people think. Way smaller. Why is that? Is Base a requirement? It's got companies that are built on it. No, it's not. Because if I've built on Base, I can build on Optimism, which means I can build on Ethereum. I don't require Base. See where I'm going? Good platform, you're building on it, but you're not a requirement. There's my problem. Cardano has a ridiculous amount of potential to become a requirement, but they need to attract those builders. They need to attract those builders. Their marketing team needs to step up and say, we've got these kind of building going, this kind of building going on, that kind of building on, this, that, the other, the mother, everything. We need Cardano to step up like that. We need Cardano to step up like that. We need Cardano to have meaningful partnerships. Ripple is not getting to bed with Chainlink because they think, oh, that would be cute. They're getting to bed with Chainlink because they know that they can do something over here and Chainlink can do something over there. Why not form a partnership and go kill it together? They're not talking about interoperability. They're talking about partnering together to open the doors and give people a complete solution for what they want to do. That's what's up. That's what's up. If you watched, I forgot which movie it was in, which one of the GMB movies it was in, but it was in one of the GMB movies. Was it? Hold on a second. Yeah. So down here, they compete. Up here, they partner. Grasp that idea. Down here, they compete. That's my competitor. Up here, oh, that's a potential partner. So XRP and Chainlink looked at each other and said, oh, that's my partner over there. What's up, bruh? Let's go do this. You handle the settlements, I'll handle the data. Together, unstoppable. Unstoppable. So, traditional banking, oh, we've got that covered. What's left? What could Cardano go for? Retail. Cardano could crush retail. And people are sitting there going, what are you talking about? Cardano's doing that whole, and Hutana can correct me if I'm wrong, Cardano is doing that whole interoperability thing between chains. So I go to the store and I've only got this coin, but I notice you've got Cardano. It would help stores work with more coins. That interoperability without using a bridge, that right there. That right there. I can flip Bitcoin over Cardano. Yeah, speeds it up, the whole nine. So they need to become a part of the connective tissue, which I think they will. But they need to start building, right? They need to start building that noise around them. They do that, and the only thing Solana will be able to do is literally just walk over and hand them their lunch so that they don't just take it. Here you go, sir. That's what I envision. But it's not there yet. It's not there yet. We're working on it, is what the team would say. We're working on it. Get there. Get there. It'll be ridiculous. Aloha 8 paws in his house. Right? Thank you for letting me know. It's not a trick question. It's as of like today, who's suing the SEC? Who announced today that they're come on. See, I knew you were going to be one of the people that was going to have a problem with that question. I should have said it's a quick trick question, but it's not, because that's going to be an interesting conversation. You better catch up. Just saying. So I noticed something else today. A lot of companies are having issues with remote work. Microsoft is having issues with remote work because it was a social contract, right? You could work remotely, and then they started forcing people out of their jobs by saying, you must come to the nearest office, the nearest Microsoft office. Now, think about this. A lot of companies are doing that, not just Microsoft. So they're all having these kinds of revelations. We're going to make you come back to the office, but you moved, so you're not near an office. Let's suppose you are near an office. There's nobody in that office that you work with. Facts. A lot of companies are like that. I was on the conference call the other day, and literally on camera, I'm looking at one person and the other person's on the camera, but in this person's view is the other person sitting like 2 rows behind them. Oh, and almost everybody was in the same building, just on different floors, but they were in the same building. Did anybody go get a conference room? Nope. Take the call from my desk. If I can take the call from my desk, I can take the call from home. These offices were not made for people to come back. They were made to make it difficult for you to actually work in an office. The desks are low. You don't even have a cubby. You have a bench in some of these companies. Literally a bench. And they think it's cool that you can raise your desk and lower your desk. Like, woo! These companies are screwing up. And Microsoft said, yeah, we need to work on that. We need to gain our employees' trust again and blah, blah, blah. That's going to be tough. You laid off 6,000, and you laid off 9,000, and you just laid off a whole bunch of people with your gaming division that were building out an AI tool. And little did they know that that AI tool that they built to help them do their jobs is the AI tool that has replaced them. 200 people. It's not a big number, but how it happened is big. One of the big issues that I see, if you're not paying attention, you can see how some of these old companies are learning new tricks. Even Microsoft said some of their legacy businesses could go away. Some of their legacy businesses can go away. Now, it sounds funny, but I could see Microsoft Office actually going away. Not a lot of people use PowerPoint. A lot of other people using other things to create slides. How do you deliver slides? On a computer screen, so it doesn't matter what program you use. There are cheaper alternatives to PowerPoint, cheaper alternatives to Word, cheaper alternatives to Excel. See where I'm going with this? So yeah, I can see Office going away. Your operating system? Microsoft's been moving to apps like forever. It's confusing when I open up OneNote, and OneNote, there's an app for OneNote, and then there's OneNote for the desktop. Microsoft's got apps. You don't even have to connect, have it loaded on your system. You could just go to office.com and use Microsoft Office. So the operating system, you know, that bloated operating system, yeah, you could see that go away. You could really see that go away. Just saying. Teams is replaceable. Teams is a conglomeration of a whole bunch of crap. Not crap, but a whole bunch of stuff that make up Teams features. You can see Teams go away. It's not hard. It won't be replaced by Zoom. And people are probably thinking, why are you talking about all this stuff? I'm talking about all this stuff because I'm looking further down the road. Farther down the road. Why is that? It's because I see change. Not a little bit of change. Big change. Big change. And people are thinking, wow, what would make you see big change? It's how people compute or how people leverage technology. Remember when I told you we need to start thinking about the opportunities that are coming our way? It's not just jobs, but it's how you invest, what you're investing in. You can't always invest in what you see right now. Like everybody and their mama ran out and bought Broadcom when Broadcom came out with great numbers. Everybody and their mama went out and bought AMD when AMD came out with great numbers. The next one I think will be Intel. Why is that? Because NVIDIA is about to give up the low-end market. And they're about to walk away from the gaming space. Not completely, but they're gonna let others go do that because it's down here. And they're going to continue going for the business up here. Interesting. But I can get rich picking up the pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, 50 pieces, silver dollars, dollar bills, $5 bills. I can get rich picking up everything that you don't want to pick up. This is how small companies become big companies. This is how small companies become big companies. They'll go to a big company and say, "Hey, look, listen, we know that you're giving away, you're saying no to a whole bunch of business. Why don't you toss those our side, our way? We don't compete with you up here. We're down here. Let us have those crumbs." And businesses do that. They do that because they want to be Macy's. Don't you remember Miracle on 34th Street? the original, not the crappy remakes. Let's keep it real. But that's what happens, right? And big business, yeah, sure. Let us circulate that amongst the office. If you got small business that doesn't hit here, send them over there. Go ahead. You can get rich eating crumbs because they can come in piles. Those crumbs build up. The next thing you know, you've got all the crumbs, and then you're slowly going after bigger pieces. And that company that was tossing you crumbs is now looking at you like, holy crap, if we don't buy them, they're going to be a thorn in our side, and maybe they wind up buying us. Just saying. I started using Notions to replace OneNote. Yep. But it's not user friendly unless you can create spreadsheets and databases. I don't need to create a database. Let me rephrase. I use the big boy databases. I don't use like Access and stuff like that. That's it's in my younger years. So I say this so that people understand that things are changing quickly. I was having a conversation with my cousin today, and we were talking about OpenAI. Go watch that video with Hassan. He interviews this woman named Karen Howe, and they talk about, and he asks her straight up, is Sam Altman creating a cult? Let me tell you, that interview is no joke. Anywho, we were talking about how OpenAI is amazing. And not necessarily for a good thing, but because it's amazing because how are they so overvalued? Anthropic is a good product. Grok, as much as I can't stand Elon, is a good product. Gemini is a good product. You have all these products that are out there. If you want that model, that hosted model, where they're hosting a solution for you and you're hitting the cloud and you're doing that. There are lots of products that are out there. OpenAI has issues. What's their issue? Well, they've got to save everything because of their court case with the New York Times. So if you're a regular person, why are you giving your data to a company that cannot delete it until that court case is over? And that's if they want to delete it. Think about the data that they're giving. Then they already told everybody, oh, we're monitoring everything that you do on our platform. And if we think we need to call the police, we do send them your information. Say what? Yeah. So if you're a small business, if you're too small to have a dedicated contract, a unique contract with OpenAI, you should be rethinking things. Which, from an investment perspective, do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. So from an investment perspective, I'm thinking Anthropic, Perplexity, because it offers you a mix of whoever's out there. You have other companies that you can do business with. You want to know what else you can do? Well, all of the models that are out there have been trained on everything that man has done since October 2023. And some of them get updated information, all that good stuff. But so that means everything's done. Everything's done. What is it learning off of now? The most recent news that man is done, man, woman, child, rat, cat, dog, whatever. And what AI has done. So yeah, it's feeding on itself now. So if you run locally, you can actually get similar, if not better results. Run a Quen locally, run a DeepSeek locally, run a Mistral locally, even a Llama locally. There's so many models that are out there that can be used and leveraged and run locally. That can get you the same results. I told you I'm using a very low-end model of Quen 3 and DeepSeek, and I'm getting similar results to the commercial product that's out there by OpenAI. I say this to mean that there are opportunities for us to look at up-and-coming companies that are causing disruption or are poised to cause disruption. Case in point, Klarna disrupting credit cards because of how they run their business. They don't charge the end user, they charge the company. Wow. Novel idea. I think it's like 3% or something like that. So you have these disruptors that are out there that are doing things. Pretty soon, you're going to have companies that are going to go, we don't need to go IPO. We need to find investors in different kinds of ways now. That whole IPO thing is going to be different. Because what's an IPO? I'm going to go to a broker that's going to take my shares and sell them on the open market. And like I said before, what they do is they will buy those shares, give you the money, so you're done, and they will go sell those shares in the open market, and hopefully they'll make money and make a good percentage back. That's how that works, for the most part, give or take a couple of details, right? I think how stocks are done are going to be different. And I think we're starting to see the introduction in where it's going. Mike Novogratz of Galaxy, a publicly traded company, said, we're going to take our stock and we're going to put it on the blockchain. So it wasn't some company that bought a substantial amount of their stock and then put it on the blockchain. It was a conscious decision by the company itself to put their stock on the blockchain. Now, I just described to you how everything works right now. Well, wouldn't it be amazing that I could take my stock and put it on the blockchain and not need a Goldman Sachs, not need one of those companies to sell me on the open market, because I could put it on the blockchain. There's your open market. And so everybody wonders why I talk about Kraken so much. Kraken is on the cusp of being able to help usher in that new way of doing business. Thank you, Hutanik. They're right there. They're a bank. They're a crypto exchange. They're a stock exchange. They've got perpetuals and futures, derivatives. They have a whole bunch of stuff that they're doing. They've got a brokerage that they just bought. They have a whole bunch of stuff that they're doing. So now when you're looking at exchanges and things like that, what do I need the middleman for? I tokenize my stock myself. I bring it to the market myself. I think that's where things are going. I think, and now don't get me wrong, there's a whole bunch of legalities that would have to be figured out and all that good stuff. But imagine if I do not have to have one of those houses to bring my stock to the public. Hey, Mr. Big, thank you for letting me know that you invested in yourself. So imagine I come out to the market. I'm Figure. I come out to the market, but I come out to the market on the blockchain or a blockchain, and I sell my shares. It goes up 25%. Who gets that money? I do. I didn't use a middleman. Aha. I might have paid a flat fee to a company to tokenize the one-time process, to tokenize my stock. See where I'm going? I think that is a viable future. I think that's absolutely a viable future. Which means you stop and you start thinking, well, damn, so what does a bank do? Isn't that the question I've been asking for a long time? bank, investment bank, if you've got the word bank associated with your business, what do you do? What do you do? Now you know why I said you can still, you could still go out and buy a Kraken. You could go out and buy a crypto.com. You could go out, not that they're on the market, but you could go do that. You could go buy Gemini. As crappy a company as it's run right now, all you do is make money, and you still lost money in the first half of 2025. Good job. Not really. You know what I'm saying. But you could go buy one of these companies. And you could start thinking, well, damn, banking is already different. Why do you think a lot of these banks are trying to get into DeFi? Because that's the future. And the future is now. That's the future, and the future is now. And I think all these banks that are trying to do, integrate crypto exchange services into existing stock trading platforms, I think that's a big mistake. I think the way to go for that is go buy an exchange. Get there quick. My daughter, my youngest daughter had a softball coach. She had a hitting coach. She's freaking powerful as, can't say that. But he taught all of the girls, hey, look, listen. If you're going to strike out quick. If you're going to swing quick. Right? And the reason why is because that snap in your bat is what's going to put it where you want it to go. So if you're going to do it quick. If you're going to do it quick. So if I want to get into the crypto business, I'm going to do it quick. I can integrate on the back end. So looking at where I think the market is going to go, because it was a signal to all other companies out there when Mike Novogratz said, yeah, we're putting our stock on the blockchain, said it dead straight up. I don't agree with where he's putting it on the blockchain, but that doesn't matter. The fact that he's doing it does. Everybody knew that's where stocks were going. I'm not saying anything that's revealing or anything else like that. It's probably just revealing to the public, but all of them knew this is where it's going. And I think it'll be only a little while longer, and then you'll hear about the next company that's doing it directly, and then the next company, and then the next company, and it'll just be normal. I mean, NASDAQ invested $50 million into Gemini. And Gemini is going to integrate a lot of NASDAQ's products into their platform. That's big. That's not a little bit of big. That's huge. It's bad when Sol makes Wall Street look slow. Damn. Hadn't even thought about it like that. But yeah. So every now and then, when I do my own research, know my entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately, I've got to stop, and I've got to take a longer view and cast my net wider for what do I think is going to happen, and what do I think that time frame is going to be. Remember when Strategy was the only company buying Bitcoin? Now you have hundreds. That's awesome, Mr. Big. Catch up. And Sunday, all my big baggers, don't forget, Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Ring a ring ring. Just saying. But yeah, I'm looking for new things. I'm looking for things that I think can stick and make a difference, right? If you're reading the news every day, you're paying attention to what you're supposed to be paying attention to every day, you're doing your own research every day, that's a good thing. But don't forget, sit down, have that cup of tea, have that cup of coffee, and start thinking down the road. Start thinking about all the news that you've gathered and start putting that picture together and seeing if you see anything down the road. Why is that? It's because if you can invest now, isn't that better? So there is currently a tariff on BYD vehicles coming to the United States, right? But there's another Chinese car manufacturer who's already here. I forgot the name of the company. But those Waymo driverless taxis, Chinese tech. Yeah. And it shouldn't be surprising. Taxis take a hell of a hit, don't they? People constantly getting in, getting out, spill here, spill there. Some kid dropped their candy, blah, 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 blah. And to buy stronger tech, cheaper tech is the way you want to go. Waymo's going to have that. We are competing in a highly competitive world. And we can no longer afford to have our companies here act like they're the best because we're encapsulated in the United States and we don't necessarily find out about what's going on overseas for things that we want to buy or things that we might really want. Have you not noticed that a lot of the innovation that happens out there, especially in the home industry, like things for your home, a lot of that is coming out of China. A lot of that is coming out of China. Doors that lock on all four sides of the door, coming out of China, cheap, but made well. I'm telling you, things are changing. By next year, Wall Street will be tokenized. It's a little soon, but I hear what you're saying. Increasing that separation between the haves and have-nots. No, I think it actually winds up bringing it closer. I think it helps to actually close that gap. Because you're putting it someplace that everybody else can get their hands on it. Right? What do I have to do to buy stocks right now? I have to go open up a Robinhood account. Right? An E-Trade account, a Charles Schwab account, Thinkorswim account, Ninja Trader account, which is cracking. I have to go open up an account and pay money to go do stuff. What's the big difference between having a tokenized asset? I might not have to actually pay a broker. I can just go do it. I can add, in the future, I'm expecting that I will be able to add Galaxy stock as easily as I can go buy Coinbase stock. And the same way that wallets have to support coins and tokens and NFTs and memes and blah, 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 they're going to have to support stocks. Except it won't be a big deal because that stock is traveling over a blockchain that the wallet already supports. Ta-da! Solana, it's on Ledger, hardware wallet. Just saying. Things are going to change. In a year? No. But in a year, we're going to hear more companies coming. And that snowball is just going to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. Except for Virginia. I don't get it. Oh my God. You know, we had an argument the last time I sent you to the corner, but that's just wow. Nah, let's remove that because we got kitties on here too. So let's remove that. Not a tough crowd, but yeah, let's remove that. But you start to realize that if you look down the road, you can start to see things actually come into focus. There's a member of our community and his profile on Instagram says, I was late to investing and even later to Bitcoin. And it struck me. It struck me. And I was like, and all you had to do was look. All you had to do was look. Some of these coins out here are really cheap. Some of these businesses out here are really cheap. It's gonna get competitive. One of the reasons why I say memes are gonna go away. Oh yeah, by the way, how often have you heard the term meme as of late? You know what you said. It was that joke. It was funny, but not for here. We got so many kids. It was hilarious, actually. I'm probably going to use it. But when you look at things, it's, if I pay attention and I buy now rather than later, I have the opportunity to make money, right? More money. Like, it'd have been great if I had held on to all my Ethereum and it was 33 cents. I think I have like 33 cents. Imagine. Holy crap. Something like that. Some stupid number like that. It'd have been great if I'd have held on to my Microsoft way back in the day when I had some. I didn't. Life happens. You need the money. Things have to happen. But if you can stop now and you can give yourself, like, take once a week. Take once a week. You're doing your research every day. This is the one special day, Captain Banana, I'm gonna get you. This is the one special day that you sit back and you kind of think bigger. Think of it like a Sunday roundup, where we look at what happened in the past, over the past week, and we look forward at what happened last week might affect us going forward in the next week. Look farther down the road. Look further, right? Go long. Go long. What happens if more companies get on the blockchain to sell their stocks? What else has to happen? Are there any pin plays off of that? As a matter of fact, what blockchains would actually fare well if they do that? Because those might be coins that I want to invest in. So a blockchain that I think is going to do well with RWAs. Chainlink, duh. Avalanche. There are a few out there. And you sit back and you're like, damn. And then I look at DeFi and the maturity of DeFi. DeFi is there, but it's not fully matured, right? But who are the big players out there? Who's making it easier for people to get into DeFi? Aha. And it goes beyond that. If stocks go on blockchain, how long do you think it'll be before real estate titles go on the blockchain? Aha. And then you start to realize title companies go out of business. Hell, I need a title company for. It's on the blockchain. I can see everything. Once this title is done, I can take this final title, put that on the blockchain, and going forward, everything happens on the blockchain. You're done. So just saying, there are opportunities that can come up, and if we take the time to start to recognize what we can do, then we can say, oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Now, wow, 10 votes. Who is suing the SEC? Ripple, Gemini, Kraken, or other? I haven't seen a lot of others, though. Yeah, no more title insurance either. Yeah. Title theft? Yeah, that's not going to happen. It's on the blockchain. You don't own it. It's not going to happen anymore. Eradicated. So no more title insurance. No more stealing titles. So that's a whole crime industry done. Right? Things are changing. Things are afoot. So what are the new businesses that could pop up? That's what I'm looking for. What are the new businesses that can pop up? Your other is ICAN. Never heard of it. But okay. But you're still wrong. It's Coinbase. It's Coinbase, everybody. That's who's suing the SEC. And the reason why they're suing is because how did you lose all of his text messages? How did you lose Gary Gensler's text messages? Sounds like an email moment to me, doesn't it? Yeah. It's no joke. It's every now and then. Chill, take a step back, look down the road, see what's coming our way. Just saying. Let's get to some other news. BlackRock plans to tokenize $10 trillion in ETFs. They're contemplating. Tokenize ETFs by BlackRock? Holy crap. That's all I can say is holy crap. I'm just saying. RBC, Royal Bank of Canada, I think it is. They're actually thinking that the stock market rally is showing signs of fatigue. Where did I hear the answer? Where did I see it? Go look it up. Hold on a second. I'll tell you where. I save all my links. Try to just... Crypto slate. Coinbase demands SEC accountability after lost Gary Gensler text messages. Ta-da! I come with receipts. Isn't it cool that when you listen to somebody and they're talking all this stuff, that one, they actually know what they're talking about, have a realistic opinion about things, and two, can actually whip out the receipts? I'm not perfect in my research, which is why I go to the community, why I go to you guys and be like, hey, correct me if I'm wrong, please. But I really do the research. I really do. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. I hope you like what I'm doing. If you do me a favor, tell your friends about us, because we've got a growing community, a very quickly growing community. I believe right now we're at 22,500 or above. We're fighting to get to that 25,000. And I think by the end of the year, we might be able to make 30. I think that might have to be the new goal. I'm still contemplating, but we'll see. Everybody, thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. And as always, thank you for your trust. I greatly appreciate it, and I will fight for your trust every single day. Everybody have a good one. Thank you so much. See you tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. for the Crypto Daily. Have a good one. Bye-bye.